Hello everyone, welcome to our another lab, the series of lab that you guys maybe already follow, or if it's your first time that you just looking for this specific lab and then you ended up into this lab, welcome. In this lab, we are going to troubleshoot the power supply problems. Here is the scenario. You have received a service request from an employee experiencing a critical issue where their system shut down unexpectedly before it can fully boot. You believe the power supply unit PSU may be at fault. If it does need to be replaced, select one that include PCIe connector for future hardware update. Here is the task. It says your task is to test the existing PSU and if needed, select compatible replacement that meet both current and future need. To complete this task, do the following. That's what we are going to do. So let's start with the first instruction. Let's say attempt to boot the computer to verify the issue and then complete this step, which is instruction 1 to 2 on quick reference card. Let's try to turn on the computer and see what's going to be happen. So it seems like it's booting. Finally, we got the error saying the computer has shut down. So if the computer is shut down, there could be a lot of different issues. It's not really mean to the power supply. But what we already know is that based on the previous information that we already have, the issue is actually related to the power supply. That's what we decide to, oh yeah, the issue is the power supply. But it could be anything else. If you really take this as the real scenario, it could be the memory issue, hard drive issue, because the computer cannot able to boot to anything. But there could be like different issue. But this one is very quick. It's like this, the computer is power shut down. So we verify that, and to do the what next, so we have to place the power supply tester on the workbench. All right. So in order to get the power supply tester, we have to go to the tools, as the name say, because the power supply tester is tools. We go here, and then here is the power supply tester. We'll grab and put between this, and then it's the unplug the computer, which we have to turn the computer to the back side, and then we have to make sure we are unplug the computer. And then it said disconnect the power to the internal hard drive. This is a little bit tough if you never did anything like this before, because mostly what we know is that all the hard drive is inside the computer case, which is very much next to the motherboard. But in this case, we have to check around. So like, as I said, let's check inside the motherboard. So this motherboard is a little bit different. So there's no any way that we can able to locate the hard drive, because the SATA, even when I click on this SATA, it doesn't connect to anything. So that's the quick way that I check if the other end is actually connected to the hard drive. So there's nothing that you can able to do. But the quick way that you have to look around is you have to check what is already here. As you see down here, there's the drive base. That's where actually the drivers go. So if you turn it this way, there's another side of the computer where we have the drivers connected down here, the two plates. So it said disconnect the power internal hard drive. So we have to disconnect both, and then we have to put somewhere up there. This one is not working. Okay, so we remove it, everything very much, the power supply from the computer, we unplug the power, and then we disconnect it from hard drive. So now the next step is to test the power supply, which is an instruction from 326 on the quick reference card. So in order to do that, so it said that transfer the power connector, the power supply, which is 20 plus 4 pin, and then connector power supply 14, 4 pin processor to the power supply tester. So in order to get there, we have to go back to the motherboard. So this is what you're talking about. So we had, this is the 24 one, as you see down here. So we have to put that one and put over here. So we have to test the computer power supply on the power supply tester. And then there's very much when we click on this, so I want to make sure you guys understand this. So if you just click on the power supply, you can see there's only two power connected to this computer motherboard. There's the 24 one, and the other one is just 4 pin. So the name say over there. So we can connect that to the tester. This one is four pins, but it can go at more than 4 pin, but it's still, you can plug to there. The other thing is that we have to test the setup that it was connected to the drivers before that we just removed. So it's already here. So once you connect this one, you can pick, because we have at least 4 of them. You just connect one, which it doesn't connect it. So it doesn't matter which one is that. So you connect that. So after that is that plug the computer in and view the power supply. So how we can plug the computer? So we have to go back to the back side, where as we already removed the computer, the power supply, so there's nothing there. So you can just plug on that one, click on this and check if it's already connected. If it's not, you just drag one of that, which already connected to a wall, and connect to the computer. As we just connected, you can see on the tester screen, it start blinking. So you cannot able to see exactly what's going on by this way, so you have to zoom in to make sure you can able to see what's going on. So how, like, hopefully you can able to see clearly what's going on. So the first thing is that you have to make sure what we have here, which is 12 voltage, that should be equal to that. Okay, if your test doesn't return what voltage that you have here, that is the indication of the issue with this power supply. Especially the symbol which is LL, that means it's low. So as you see, everything is LL, very much. It keep changing, so it's never be equal. So that is the indication of the bad power supply. So that's how you know everything is L. So what we're gonna do after we check and we confirm this power supply is not good, so we have to unplug the power cable from the computer and move the bad power supply to the workbench next to the tester. Leave the cable connect to the tester. We don't need to remove anything, but we just need to remove the computer. So I have to do a little bit of minimize to make sure we able to see everything. So in order to take out the power supply, you have to unplug this one first. Oh, this one is okay. So you have to unplug that, and then you have to go back to the motherboard, and then you have to drag that power supply and then take it out. So then select and install the new power supply. How we do that? So we have to go back to the power supply because we know this is bad, so we have to get the new one. In order to get the new one, we have to go through the power supply, which is already given for us down here, and to make sure it meets the requirements that already given for us down here. Select the power supply from the inventory that has the same 24 pin. That's the first thing. And also the 4 pin that we already have. On top of that, we need the 6 pin of the PCI connector. So if we start with the first one, so we select that and then we quickly go through, at least we look for 24, so we got only 20. So that is not 24. So we have to move. As we see down here, all these two is already 24. So we have to check the additional part. So as we see here, we have for the fourth one, we have 24 and we have four power connector, which is fulfills the first two requirements. But we are looking around or going through, but there's no 6. Because of that, this should be the last option that we're left with. So as we see, we have 24, we have 4 pins, and also even for CPU, we have that, and all SATA, we have that. And then when we go through, also we have the power supply for the 6-pin PCIe. So this would be the right one, and we just directly drag to the computer. So after that, reconnect the power supply. So the one we just removed. So everything what we remove, we have to click on that, and then we have to make sure at least we take it back, the one we removed. The first one is the motherboard power supply, the one to the motherboard. And the other one is the 4 pin that we removed. So we have to take that one back. So we successfully reconnect the 24 pin, and then we successfully reconnect the 4 pin to the motherboard, and we're left with the hard drive. This is the little bit of tricky one, so that's what you guys have to understand how to do that. So since we already know how we disconnect the power supply from the hard drive, so we have to go back to the same place, and then where it said the drive bay, so that is where we disconnect from. So then the next question is how we can able to select the power supply, which when we select it, it's popping up the option for us. So we can go through here. There's nothing because we select the computer. That's what this part is come out. But we don't really have any option down here in order to get the power supply option. So in order to get to that, so you don't have to go back here into the drive bay or motherboard or anything like that. So you have to click on this option, which is it's called the partial option. So as you see right here, is that the partial connected, which is if you click on it, there's nothing come up for you. But the only thing that you can able to do is if you click over here, you can see the different option that's partially already connected. So one of this. So what we need is the power supply. If you click on the power supply, all the connector that we want to connect is listed down here. So what we need to do is just to drag and connect the two drivers that we already have over there. So we have the list of the SATA connectors, so you just need one. You don't have to worry about which one is which. It's all work. So that concludes every part that we need to do, reconnect it back to the computer, and finally say that plug the computer in and turn on the power supply, then start the computer. So what we need to do is to reconnect. So we have to turn the computer on the back side first, and then we have to reconnect one of these connectors. So we have to select the other one and get the female side of that and then connect that back to the computer. And also you have to turn on the power supply. It's say right there. If you don't, the computer is not going to be work. So you have to click right here where it's on and off. So you have to on, make sure that it's on and you already connected, plug the computer in, turn on the power supply, then start the computer. All right, so let's start that. In order to get it started, we have to turn it to the front side and then we click the power supply. Here we go. It's loading and the screen is getting black. So that's the good sign. It's loading. There's circle thing going around. Just still loading. Here we go. We are finally in the computer, the home PC, which is actually not turning on anymore. So it's not shut down. That means it's able to power on. So again, as we do all the time, we have to score the lab and see if that is work actually. Let's do it. All right, as you guys see, we score 100% and everything is connected and tested correctly. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you didn't do it before. Thank you for watching and see you in next lab.